On today's video, we'll be taking a look at some non-reserve list cards that have a lot of value going forward. Stay tuned. Welcome back everyone to another financial discussion for Magic the Gathering. I'm MTG Moxman, welcome aboard. We'll be taking a look today at some non-reserve list cards that are having quite an impact in the market. These cards could be OG original, they could be cards just selling well, but all these cards have value and uses inside Magic the Gathering. Let's take a look at these cards today, and you guys will let me know at the end of the video in the comments section what you think. Let's start out with card number one. Scimitar the Swamp King from Legends is the first card I'm showing today. You can find this card for $150 Canadian for a near mint played copy. It has an average of $99 US. The market is $199.95 US. And of course, €50 and 50 cents will get you that card. When we look at the formats you're allowed to use Scimitar in, you're looking at Legacy games, Modern, Commander, and Vintage. By many people's standards in Commander, though, this card will be outmoded and not really playable. Some people will be using this card for some fun times in old style games like Old School, but let's face it, he's an epic piece of artwork that has a lot of collectability for people looking to get the original cards from Legends. He'll continue to go up in value, and his sales are staying steady at this point. But cards like this, and because we know the rarity was 19,300 copies made, make this card that much harder to come across in any good condition going forward. Keep an eye on him in the next 5 years. I do expect him to rise in value. Let's go ahead and take a look at our next card today, which is going to be the Dancing Scimitar from Arabian Nights. Now, I found this card the cheapest at $65 Canadian for a heavily played copy. The average is $70 US, the market is $78 US, and €84 and 80 cents get you that card. Now, as this is an Arabian Nights original printer, you can see it has really gone up in price and is continuing to climb, and that's due to the rarity of this card. But being a non-reserve list card, remember, it has multiple printings. If you ever wanted to just get a copy to play with, you can spend probably $1 and just get the card. But for those trying to collect this card for an Arabian Nights set, the sales are remaining steady on this card, but also in the other formats that it comes in. So other playing editions that got reprinted, it's still selling as well. So somebody is picking up copies of this card in any near mint condition, seems to be the way they're going, and it's selling a couple of copies a month. Guys, it's an old card. It is not considered a powerful card by anyone's standards, but if you're a person collecting Arabian Nights, you'll want to get the best quality copy you can find. Our next card today is Blood Moon from the Dark. You can find this card for $95 Canadian lightly played for an OG original, which is what you're seeing on the screen right now. The average is $94 and 58 cents. The market is $90 and 24 cents. And of course, €96 and 49 cents will of course get you that card. You can go ahead and snag that bad boy. But remember, the OG originals command a much higher price due to the fact there's only 124,000 copies made of this card from the Dark. Now, the formats it can be played in are Commander, Legacy, Vintage, and Modern. If you just need a copy to play with, definitely go for a reprint and save yourself that money. Guys, let's go on to check out our next card. And remember, these OG original cards will continue to gain in value over the years. They really will. Now, our next card today is going to be Shatterstorm from Antiquities. You can find this card for $100 Canadian lightly played. The average is $139.47 US. The market, though, is $86.09 US, and €77 and 97 cents will get you that card. It has spiked up huge. Ignore the spike you see on your screen. The sales are not that crazy on this card. They are staying steady. The steady sales are from other reprints of this card. Because remember, these cards can be reprinted if Wizard sees fit to do so. And a card like this is beautiful in its invocation, which I'll have a series coming up on soon. The original ones, though, will command a much higher price from people trying to complete sets or want to have that bling for their deck. So original OGs definitely seem to command a higher price when going forward, even if it's not a reserve list card. So if you happen to have a good quality copy of these, hold on to them. If you just need a copy to play with, definitely go with the reprint. This card, of course, can be used in Legacy, Vintage, Commander, or Modern. Let's check out our next card, which is going to be Mishra's Factory. Boom! I'm going to stop on this one for a second. I know normally I'm all calm and stuff, but I want to bring your attention to this particular card. Now, Mishra's Factory, you see the winter edition on the screen. $650 Canadian for a moderately played. The average is $6.99 US. The market is $490 US. And of course, €281.39 will get you that card. You can use these cards in Modern, Commander, Legacy, and Vintage. The sales are strong, but here's where my pause comes in. They have reprinted this card a lot. They just call it Mishra's Factory. And you can see it only costs $1. Remember that. This just proves what goes on when original cards come up. Although they have reprinted Mishra's Factory, they didn't give it the treatment of winter, summer, fall. They didn't do that, right? They just gave it the one we know today. The single copy. They've never reprinted these original artworks, which really says, you know what? The originals have a lot of value. They have a lot of money behind them. Cards like this are just so epic. But Wizards could reprint these. They could give them a different, fresh treatment, which will bring the prices down. But these OG originals will always hold that higher commanding dollar price. You can see it now more and more on the financial side of Magic the Gathering. People tend to really, if they're going for bling, they just want an original from the first printing the card was ever made in. So whenever you see a new set like Modern Horizons, Commander Legends, that's what I'm talking about. Holding on to original cards from those sets that have never been printed anywhere else could hold the key to financial future stability, and you can make a lot of money. See how they go hand in hand? It could happen. So let's go ahead and take a look at our next card. Sun-Baked Canyons from Modern Horizons. You can find this card for $20 Canadian. That's near mint, by the way. Now, the average price, though, is $20.71 US. The market is $20.66 US. A foil can be had for $53.37 US. And, of course, €15.72 will get you that card. I want to talk about this one, too. It is what I just talked about, an OG original card. It's only been printed in Modern Horizons. The sales are very strong. It's used in Legacy, Vintage, Commander, and Modern. And remember, it's a sack land that lets you draw a card. So you know what? If you don't need it later on, you can always draw from that, which is very nice. It is just one of those things people need to think about. When you look at these cards, you might want to hold on to them for the future, knowing that this card could be worth a lot more in its original printing down the road. And if you have a foil one, I would recommend doing the same. Keep them as neat and as tidy as possible, because on the financial side of things, I really think OG originals have somewhere to go in the future, so I'm keeping my eye really close on this one. Let's take a look at the next card. All right, we are talking Emmercool, The Promised End. Now, I was not overly fond of this card when it first came out because I was used to Aeon of Torns, and I thought it was just such a better card with Annihilator and just obliterated people. I get it. This is a more balanced copy, I guess you would say, but at $44 Canadian near mint, the average is $38.20 US. The market is $34.22. The foil, though, is $93 US. Remember, it's still kind of hard to get foils back then. And €32.33 will get you that card. Now, Legacy, Commander, Modern, Pioneer, Vintage, and Frontier are formats this card can all be played in. So it has a wide range of sets it can be played in right now. That doesn't mean it's being used all over the place, but that broad base to build upon really gives this card some legs, as it were. Get it? Legs in the picture? Huh? I know, cheesy. I can't help myself when you see it that way, but the sales have just remained steady at this point. But as a first printing, brought into Eldritch Moon, I'm keeping my eye on this card to see how it does in the next 3 to 5 years. Let's go ahead and check out our next card, which of course is going to be, that's right, Emmercool, the Aeon of Torns. All right, Aeons of Torn? Wait, Aeon's Torn, whatever. $55 Canadian near mint. The average is $54.24 US. The market is $57.42 US. $229.99 for the foil. Wow. Look at that. OG original foil, look at that price. And €37.37 will get you that card. Legacy, Modern, Vintage. You see that banning in Commander just hurts it so much. This card really hasn't risen in price, and I don't see them bothering to reprint it anytime soon as copies are readily available. But I'm keeping my eye on it because if it ever becomes unbanned, if anything else or new formats it gets bred into later on, it could cause a card like this to shoot up suddenly with somebody who knows this is coming down the pipe. So keep an eye on this card, and if you have copies, keep them around. It's always good for kitchen table magic. Sarah the Benevolent from Modern Horizons can be found for $14 Canadian for a near mint quality copy. The average is $11.35 US. The market is $9.35 US. $58.19 is for the foil. And of course, €7.43 will get you that card. Now the formats it's allowed in being Legacy, Commander, Modern, and Vintage. But when I look at Sarah the Benevolent, and as a player who's always admired that Planeswalker and the history behind the card and always loved the quotes, it seems very underwhelming for a Planeswalker of this stature to be this powered down. That said, it is an OG original. Of course, I have a playset of this card, and I can see the future value being there if they do other reprints or other remakes of this card. So keep an eye on it. Its sales are steady, and I continue to see that going forward because, let's face it, Modern Horizons is done. It's out of print. Whatever's out there now is out there, and slowly these cards, anything from Modern Horizons, will be gobbled up over time. Keep an eye on it going forward. Let's go ahead and take a look at our next card, which is going to be Polluted Delta from Khans of Tarkir. Now, I remember buying a whole bunch of these cards and flipping them within the first 24 months. I think I got most of my Polluted Deltas and all the lands of this like for between $6 and $9. And I sold most for around the $20 to $25 mark at the time. And I sold giant binders full of them. I was buying them everywhere I could find them when they were cheap. Now, you can find it right now for $47.99 Canadian for a near mint quality copy. The average is $45.99 US. The market is $39.83 US. A foil, though, will draw you up to $71.47 US. €30 and 41 cents, of course, will grab that card for you. And there's lots of formats it can be played in: Legacy, Modern, Commander, Vintage, and Frontier. The sales are very strong on this card as people are expecting a reprint that just hasn't happened yet. It will happen sometime soon, or the price will get really out of whack for players, and Wizards will have to deal with that issue. They know what's going on. Trust me, they're just planning well for it. That's how Wizards works. Let's go ahead and take a look at the last card today, which is Cavern of Souls from Avacyn Restored. Now, the funny thing is this card is $90 Canadian for a near mint quality copy. The average is $84.99 US. The market is $79.75 US. A foil is $150.28 US. And €65 and 80 cents will get you that card. It can be formats permitted in is going to be Legacy, Modern, Commander, and Vintage. The sales are very strong, but the funny thing is the sales are across the board. Even the reprints and the special expedition type lands, which command more money than the OG original, are all over the place, and these cards get gobbled up because it's basically used in every Commander deck out there. It's always good to have a Cavern of Souls. It's always good. I mean, my Sliver decks can't run without these things. Way to go, man. Cavern of Souls is one of those cards everyone wants to get their hands on. Wizards will monitor this and keep very close tabs on the value of this card going forward. For financial stability, if you don't have one, I would definitely get one. Hold on to it long term because Wizards will reprint these things and draw values down. But at the same time, they will monitor it and not allow it to come out unless it's a specialty set as a drop card. Like it's just not going to be that easy to get them. I really hope everyone enjoyed the selection of cards I showed you today. It was a broad range of cards from all kinds of different playable formats that have some serious value attached to them going forward, or at least the possibility of a financial future for a lot of these cards. The OG originals just should not be underestimated. That goes along with old foils that are hard to come across. Boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you really enjoyed the video today. I look forward to seeing each and every one of you tomorrow. Have a fabulous day, and hey, remember, Boomstick Edition. And of course, a big shout out goes out to all the demigods and supporters of this channel. Thank you so much to my awesome patrons who make this possible each and every day for a channel like mine to exist. You guys are epic people. Thank you so much for your continued support. What? I'm just taking a peek. We're getting closer to 10,000 subscribers, you guys know, right? So we got to take a peek here. And I'll put this card in because, you know, we want to crack it open. So that went into the 10K box. That's the way we're going to play this one today. Guys, I hope you're having a fantastic day today. Have a coffee, kick back, enjoy the day. Make sure you drink enough water too. You got to stay hydrated out there. And eat healthy, at least once a week.